Hi everyone, welcome to my channel. My name is Whitney. If you're new here, I do a keto diet to lose weight and also get the other health benefits that it provides. So today I'm going to be doing a little bit of an update on my weight loss and health journey. I started keto in July last year, so I've been keto for a little bit over a year and 2 months or so. And so I'm just gonna kind of go over what has changed since my last video on what I do to lose weight. It has changed just a little bit. I have implemented alternate day fasting with keto, so I will get into that in a moment. But before I start, just as a disclaimer, I would just like to let you know that I am not a doctor. I'm not an expert, not a nutritionist, health coach, whatever. This is all just based on my own experience and I guess my own research that I have kind of looked up. But anyway, let's get into it. So I have notes on my phone, of course. So basically what I'm doing is an alternate day fasting method where I do true alternate day fasting, which means that 3 days out of the week, I do not eat anything. I have no calories, nothing. There is a modified version of ADF that is an option, but I have just chosen to go with true alternate day fasting. It's been working for me so far. So I've been doing that for about 2 weeks now. So basically, I do the 4-3 method, where I eat 4 days out of the week, 3 days out of the week, which are Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for me. I only drink like water, coffee, tea, that kind of stuff. Also my electrolytes, because those are very important on keto as well as whenever you're fasting. So I basically fast about 42 hours at a time, sometimes like 40 hours if I felt like I wanted to eat a little bit earlier, but it has ended up being about 42 hours because by the time that I wake up and start doing a bunch of stuff, it's already been 42 hours. So I have been doing intermittent fasting with keto for about a year now, and I eased into it. I started just with probably like the normal 13-hour fast, went up to the 16, 18, 20 started becoming really natural for me. And then I took the plunge and did a 36-hour fast a couple weeks ago. Well, it was supposed to be 36 hours, but it ended up being 42, just because I woke up and then I was like, I'm not really hungry yet. So I waited a little bit longer and it was fine. And at that point, I had already kind of looked into alternate day fasting, but I wasn't sure if I was even able to make it to the 40-hour fasting point. I was, so that is what I've been doing for the past 2 weeks. Basically, I don't find that I have a problem with fasting because I do still have a lot of body fat on me. So my body is good. I'm not starving. Just to put that out there. Fasting is not starving. You are delaying your food, not denying yourself of food. I know that I'm going to eat the next day, so I am perfectly fine with it. Also, I did find that I was starting to have to decrease my calories so much to the point where I was just hungry so much. So it was like around I was eating like 1,400 calories a day, and I was kind of stalling because I was hungry, so I was just kind of like eating more, and it just wasn't working for me. So the thing is that whenever you start a calorie deficit, it's very easy for your metabolism to slow down with that, because you just keep having to reduce and reduce and reduce until you are starving 24/7. So that is why I was like, I'm gonna try to do some alternate day fasting because it seems to work. So what works with me with alternate day fasting, I've heard that some people do not calorie count whatsoever. I did start doing that, but I realized that I wasn't actually eating enough, and that's not good either. So I do calorie count just to the point of making sure that I eat enough. I try to eat up to my maintenance calories on my eat days. So that's around like 1600 calories or something, which is sort of more difficult than it sounds, because you would think that with alternate day fasting that you would want to binge eat the next day, right? That's not true, at least for me. So by the time that I'm like thinking the night of my longer fast, I'm thinking, ooh, I can't wait to eat all of this food. And then the next day I'm like, meh, I just eat a normal amount of food, but I still do try to make sure that I eat enough. So I'm just going to mention a few pros and cons of alternate day fasting for me and my experience, and I guess a little bit of the common pros and cons as well. So some pros would be self-control for food. So I have learned that I do not need to binge eat because I will eat again. So that has been a pro of fasting. It is improving my relationship with food, as most people do who have had like problems with their weight do have issues with their relationship with food. I think that it is improving it for me. So that's a pro. Another pro would be more energy. I have a strange amount of energy when I'm fasting. You would think that you're like tired, lethargic, all that fun stuff, but no. I actually don't need coffee whenever I'm fasting. I just like to drink coffee, so I'll have that sometimes whenever I'm fasting, but it's really not necessarily not necessary. So that is a pro for me. Another one is mental clarity and focus. I have realized that on my fasting days, I am super productive. As someone who does online school, it is very important for me to be productive. So especially on those days like Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, I am very productive with my schoolwork. So like one day, I think it was like a couple weeks ago, or like on my first week of fasting, I wrote 2 papers in one day. That is unheard of for me. Like, I wrote them start to finish, and I passed them, by the way. But it's weird because you would really think that you'd just be thinking about food the whole time, but surprisingly, I gained a lot of mental focus with fasting. Some other ones are fat loss, of course, which is a plus because who doesn't want to lose weight if you're on a weight loss journey? By the way, I have lost 4 pounds in 2 weeks from this, which is good considering I am getting closer to my goal weight. Some other pros would be autophagy and a deeper level of ketosis. I have been tracking my ketones and blood glucose lately, and I have found that on days after I've been fasting, my ketone levels are a lot higher, and I can tell with my mood and, like my mental focus, like I said. And another pro would be, like I said, tracking calories is not necessary. Most people just eat intuitively on an alternate day fasting plan just because it works better for them. That's a little bit of the freedom with ADF that you can have. But I just mainly do it so I can make sure that I do eat enough food. Cons for ADF would be insomnia. I've always had insomnia, but I've realized that since I have so much energy on fasting days, it's hard for me to get to sleep. But I have been taking magnesium, and it does seem to help a little bit. So stay tuned for, I guess, another update on that. Some people have issues with their tummy when they start. So I guess the best way to keep that from happening is make sure that you are taking enough electrolytes, and also the way that you are breaking your fast matters. Try to break it with like protein or bone broth in the beginning, because that will definitely reduce the chances of you having tummy issues when you're doing ADF. Another one would be that I'm cold all the time now, which is weird because I've always been a person who's just like hot all the time. I always need a fan on, but now I'm cold and I'm constantly wearing blankets, but I've heard that that is a sign that your body is burning fat, so I will take it. Another thing is that your food will go bad quickly if you don't, because if it's something that you need to eat the next day, it kind of sucks for you because you're only eating every other day, unless, I make it on like a weekend, which is, I basically have feast days on Saturdays and Sundays, so I could do it that way. but if you don't watch out, your food will go bad. Another con would be, it could be socially awkward if you were to go out with your friends or something on fasting days, but it's not really a problem for me right now considering the current world situation, but it could be, you know, a deal breaker for you. And another con, my last con, would be that your clothes will get too big because you get skinny. Yeah. Okay. So, final thoughts on alternate day fasting for me. Like I said, I've lost 4 pounds in these last 2 weeks, which is a lot for me because it's getting like harder for me to lose weight at this point. Well, it's coming off steadily. It was coming off steadily, but it's just a lot slower than obviously the beginning of whenever I started keto. So I have lost those 4 pounds, which brings me down to, it brings me down to 155 pounds, which means that I have lost 60 pounds in my weight loss journey so far. So that is great. So I will stick with ADF until, I guess, until I'm not comfortable with it anymore. Just as long as I feel good, I will stick with alternate day fasting. I think it's really working great for me. Also, like I said, like the freedom of not having to exactly track your calories too much is a good thing for me. And so some sources that you could look into if you're interested in alternate day fasting, maybe some like experts, would be Dr. Jason Fung. He has a couple of books on fasting, a lot of, you can just find a lot of his information on YouTube. He has more of the medical side of it. He's a nephrologist who specializes in fasting and things related to fasting. So I would definitely check him out. And Rachel Sharp, she has lost over 100 pounds doing alternate day fasting. She still does it, I think today, but she's been doing it the past couple of years, and she's had really great success with it. So she's actually one of the first people that I heard of talking about it. So that is one person you can look at. And also Thomas DeLauer and Fledged Fitness. So I believe that they're both trainers. So they have some more information on, you know, fasting related to fitness, all that kind of stuff. So I will leave them all linked below. Just, I guess, some videos that they've had on fasting that have helped me. But that is pretty much it about my alternate day fasting / keto journey. I do like it, like I said, so far. So that's great for me. I'm going to keep doing it. And I guess I'll do another update soon. Hopefully not too long from now. But that's basically it. If you really enjoyed this video, feel free to like, share, subscribe, and also leave a comment down below. I guess if you've ever tried out alternate day fasting or fasting. That's it. All right. Thank you so much for watching. Y'all have a great day. Bye.